Alright folks, welcome back to Airships Conquer the Skies. You might be able to hear my voice, I'm still a little bit under the weather, so I'm going to take this a little bit quietly. But in this episode, we're going to take a look at ship building and design, as well as, of course, continue expanding our empire. So, we've captured Dinkleton. They're building defenses there. Just some of the default defenses. I need to work on building defenses. I've been kind of messing around with the ship design and all, and I think I've come to the conclusion that defenses you can build pretty cheaply and effectively. Ships, and land ships you could build fairly cheaply and effectively. Ships, because of their requirements... Well, here, let's go into the ship design panel and I'll show you. So in order to be an effective ship, you pretty much have to have some things. I don't think I have small versions at the moment. Those are just structural items. Ammo store, coal store. So you do have small ammo and coal stores and all that kind of stuff, but generally speaking, in order to be... that gives you 12 coal, right? So your suspendium chambers use a unit of coal every 20 seconds, which means your coal is your hard time limit on how much you can, well, fight. So 3 units of coal a minute. If you only have 12, then you've got 4 minutes of fighting time. The coal store here, which gives you 50, that gives you more than 10 minutes of fighting time, which is usually going to be enough. But generally speaking, in order to be an effective kind of medium ship, you have to have a coal store, you have to have an ammo store, you have to have at least one supply hatch. Let's just say a wooden supply hatch. You have to have... not troops. You have to have crew, obviously, which means you need a cockpit at least. And you need at least a couple of berths. I think the smallest ship I've ever designed had 9 crew, so you could do 3 berths. 3 berths cost 17, quarters costs 46, so at that point you might as well have a quarters. So that, and then of course you need a suspendium chamber to actually fly, and you need a propeller. That's 400, right there. That's like the basic requirement to have a ship. And we don't have any weapons yet or anything. We also only have wooden armor, so we could go to steel armor, and if we fill up steel armor, we're up to 560. Now, there's ways to cut this down. Obviously, you can use cheaper propulsion options. So, for example, you can use sails instead of propellers. A propeller is 68 bucks. A double sail is 40 for 140 propulsion, whereas a propeller only gives you 80 propulsion and costs coal. So, in some ways, sails are better, except that sails are extremely vulnerable. And that's kind of the trade-off you have to make. Sails also require more crew. So, but you can, we could replace that propeller. I want to replace that propeller with a double sail. You could do that. That cuts you down a little bit and gives you actually quite a bit more propulsion. It is heavier. But, that's an option. You can cut down your ammo store. You can take a small ammo store instead of a regular ammo store. That cuts you down to about 350. If you can reduce your crew down to 6, you can take 2 berths instead of a quarters. That cuts you down. But generally speaking, you're going to be spending at least about 300 or so just on the basics to make your ship function. Now, if you don't need suspendium, if you decide not to use suspendium chambers and instead just use balloons. I don't think I actually have balloons at this point. So I think at this point I have to have suspendium because my sails don't give lift, they only give propulsion. So I have to have a suspendium chamber. So what I'm saying is, in order to build an effective ship, I think you're looking at spending at least somewhere in the 600 to 1,000 range, and generally probably a little bit higher in that range is better. I think aiming for about 800 to 1,000 is probably a decent way to go. I'm not going to take a sail because I personally don't like sails very much. I am going to take... Okay, we've got a suspendium chamber, and then we're going to take a propeller. And we're just going to slap that right onto the suspendium chamber. So that is going to be the basis of my ship. There. We're going to need a supply hatch. I'm actually probably going to use a steel one because wooden supply hatches are a little bit vulnerable to being destroyed. Those give 8 supply. Cargo doors give 40 supply, which I absolutely will not need. So we've got a supply hatch. Instead of a cockpit, I'm also going to use a bridge, because bridges give you better command. So if I put this right here, say command every 11 seconds, that is relative to the amount of command crew you have relative to your ship's size. You can only give orders every so often, but if we have a bridge, see, then we can give a command every 2 seconds to this tiny, minuscule little ship. So I don't need 2, I only need 1. We need a quarters, obviously. And I'm going to use a full-sized ammo store also because this is going to be a gunship. One way you can make a boarding ship, you can make a bombing ship. We're going to work on kind of a basic all-purpose gunship. So we've got these cannons. Those are going to be our main weapons. We need a coal store, which I'm not going to put right... I'm going to put a small gap between it and the suspendium chamber so that it won't be exploded. We also need a fire point, which I am going to put, I think, right there, where it can be climbed up to. So basically what we're going to have is we're going to have the flight level, and then we're going to have the crew level, where more things happen, as it were. Let's put a corridor with a ladder in it. 2 right there. In terms of crew, obviously we need the quarters, so we're going to put the quarters there. That gives us 12 crew. The supply hatch. Let's put the supply hatch right next to the quarters for now. And the bridge can be... Actually, we're going to put the bridge right on top, take the supply hatch out, replace it with another corridor with a ladder, and put the supply hatch next to the... we don't want the supply hatch next to the bridge. Okay, I think that functions, basically. That's the fire point. We need the ammo store. We'll put the ammo store next to the fire point. And a cannon. So we're going to mount, I think... Let's mount 2 cannons on this bad boy. So that's going to be its main forward-firing firepower. And then we need... muskets or rifles. We have rifles. So we're going to mount a couple of rifles as rear-facing protection. Like that. So we've got the cannons to shoot forward. We've got the rifles to shoot backward. If someone gets right above us, we're a little bit screwed. But we just kind of have to hope that that won't happen. So our service ceiling is 158. Our speed is 112. We go to steel armor. That cuts both our service ceiling and our speed down by a lot. Weight 4. Yeah, weight 20. So steel wall is weight 2. HP 27 absorbs 5 blast, 3 pierce. Wooden armor absorbs 1 blast and 3 pierce. So against bombs, wooden armor is terrible. Steel wall is better against bombs, but actually worse against piercing weapons like cannons. Because it's thinner. I think we're going to stick with... yeah, highly vulnerable to explosives. I think we're going to stick with wooden armor for now. And... since we have 50 coal, suspendium chambers take a unit of coal every 20 seconds. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to move this propeller back by 1. Back by 1 module, which is actually 3 spaces. We're going to put in another suspendium chamber. And then I may attach some steel armor specifically over that to avoid it being exploded. And I think we need more crew, so we're going to move all that back as well, because we need another quarters. So we're going to move the rifles back. We're going to move the supply hatch back. We're going to put in another quarters. Now we need a little bit more supply, so we're going to have another steel supply hatch. Right there. See, this is why these ships spiral out of control pretty quickly, as you can see, because now that we've done all this, we also want some guards. And this is a fairly large and expensive ship. We want some guards in order to keep it from being boarded. So we're going to put a guard barracks right there. Okay, so this is a pretty functional ship. And given that our service ceiling right now is 297, we can afford to put some steel armor on it. That would still give us a service ceiling of 150, which isn't bad. It makes us fairly slow, but a lot tougher. What I think I'll do is I'll go wooden armor, and then we will put steel armor over all this down here, which is where the explosion-prone stuff is. So the bottom deck is going to have steel armor on it so the stuff doesn't explode so much. The top deck won't. What I am going to do, however, is I'm going to swap that... I'm going to swap that fire point closer to the boom. The ammo store. So the ammo store can go 1 back. Fire point. The quarters can come forward. The bridge can be there. The fire point can be here. And the ammo store can be... how did I manage to make this... how did I manage to make that not function? Wow, that was ridiculous. Let's look at the water overlay real quick. The propeller will take a little while to get water to it, but that should... Pathing's okay. Getting ammo to the rifles might be a little... So let's move the fire point out of the way for the moment. Let's take the ammo and put it right there. We've got all our crew in. We just need the fire point. We need the fire point to be like here, where the bridge and the guard barracks are. Let's put the fire point there. No, because there's no ladder. So let's move one space further. Let's put in a ladder. So where's the corridor with ladder? I still don't know where everything is in this this little thing. It must be in... There it is. Put in a corridor with ladder there. Steel supply hatch. Move the fire point back one more. That corridor with ladder can just be removed. Put the ammo there next to the fire point. Put the bridge there. That can just be removed, like I said. Put the steel supply hatch. Okay, so we've got coal, we've got our guns. We've got our ammo, our bridge. Ammunition. 2 seconds, 3 seconds. That's fine. Water. How does it take longer? Oh, because now they have to path down through that ladder. Okay. Then tell you what. We've got the bridge there, right? Move the bridge. Put the ammo back forward. Put the fire point right there. Put the bridge there. And that supply hatch, we can move that rifle. Put the supply hatch. We don't want the supply hatch right next to the bridge. We want it there. And what we want is the bridge to be up there. We want the guards in between the bridge and the hatches, so that if anyone boards us, the guards can shoot at them. Where are the guard barracks? We want the guards there. So they are the path up to the bridge. We've got the rifle right there. Have the supply hatches pulled back this way, and we'll put another rifle outside the supply hatches. I feel like this might function. Feel like it probably can. Or maybe even a grape shot cannon. Let's put a grape shot cannon right there. Okay, ammunition. That's alright. Water. Functional. Hit points. So these places... So, squares get a bonus to HP if they're surrounded by other squares. So, for example, right here you can see 66 instead of the 60 that it lists. 221 for the suspendium chambers. You want to build in kind of a blocky fashion because that helps your ship stay together. If you remove things so that one of your blocks is just hanging out on its lonesome, it'll have less HP. Coal is pretty... I think coal is fine. Explosion damage, oof. This represents the damage that comes when something explodes. So the suspendium chamber and the coal obviously are the dangers. Water is fine. I don't have any repair tools. And this ship costs 1,300, so I feel like I've done something terribly wrong. For one thing, all this stuff up here is wood. It'd be wood instead of steel. Those are steel supply hatches, so that's fine. Yeah, so all the explosive stuff down here should be fine. I'm actually going to take that grape shot cannon out and replace it with a rifle because it's expensive, and I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. There, rifle. $1,100. I'm sure I'll get a lot better at designing ships as we go along, but for now, I think this is an okay ship to aim for, question mark. Hopefully once we start researching better weapons, we will have, we'll do better. Also, I have 24 crew and the recommended is only 19. Well, having a few extra crew never hurt anybody. Alright, we're going to save this design. And what should we call this design? We have a whole bunch of basic designs here. Also, we have the grand cannons that I designed while I was messing around. This ship is awful, I'm certain, but it does have 2 grand cannons on it, so that's something to go for. So let's save this design as the repulsive. What a name for it. No, let's save it as the... I actually need to rename the ship itself. We're going to name this ship the... For now, we're just going to call it the Flying Box. Because that's what it is. It is most definitely a flying box. Okay, so that's something to aim for. Like I said, it costs $1,100. A little bit expensive. I might end up using balloons or something, but for now, I think it'll be okay. We have these clockwork wasps, which are really kind of a pain in the butt. Let's turn time on and see what happens. Okay, so Kulan-Ravod and Catbridge have both conquered new places, and this enemy fleet is moving to invade one of our cities. No! Pause! I clicked the freaking pause button. Okay, well. So we're being attacked, because that didn't work out the way I'd hoped. So they've got a... This is a large ship. A large ship with many guns and lots of decorations on it. So they've got 4 cannons. I think those are just decorations. Looks like they've just got 4 forward-facing cannons. If so, then this is going to be a problem for them, because my defensive structure also has 4 cannons. And we're going to set them on aimed fire, for accuracy's sake. Because they've got a giant balloon in the middle of their ship. And yeah, I don't like balloons, man. I don't like balloons. They explode so easily. We've also got these rifles. So if they can shoot us, we can shoot them. And that is indeed what's happening. We're trading rifle fire right at the moment. And I think my rifles are basically winning, because I have 5 of them. And yeah, there go more important pieces of this airship. Ooh. Problem with balloons. Problem with balloons. Okay, destroyed. Excellent. Let's pause real quick. I said let's pause real quick. That pause button does not seem to react perfectly to being hit. There's a ship coming for Tiz, and if we look at the defenses on Tiz, it has this little thing that doesn't actually have any command crew. Like, you can't give it orders. It has a cannon and several rifles, but it's also, I believe, made of wood. No, I guess it has steel armor. I would like it to be better, though. But you know what? We're just going to leave it for what it is right now, since they are under attack. Dingleton is repairing the Imauder, but we don't have it active yet, so Tiz is going to have to defend itself this time. Is P the pause button? P is not the pause button. And they are sending in 2 vessels loaded with tiny blimps. I would assume those are like aerial hussars or something. They're going to try to board us. I would assume. Yeah, so I can't give this thing any orders. So it's just going to be what it is. Yep, they certainly are attacking. Got lots of rifles. Oh no, they're dropping bombs on us. And they seem to have killed a few of my guns or something? No, my guns are still firing. Unfortunately, these things have steel armor, so I don't think I'm going to win this. Yeah, I'm losing troops. I'm losing troops and dealing very, very little damage. And we're on fire. I don't think this is going to work. Yep, there I go. Unfortunate. Okay, great. So, we lost Tiz. Let's pause. Yeah, if there's anything else up on the screen, it doesn't function. So, the Immoderate. The Immoderate might be able to take those 2 guys out, except... Do we have any rifles on the Immoderate? No, because I removed all the rifles. Rifles could have been useful, I suppose. Just to take out those little flying guys, because otherwise I think they'll deal a lot of damage. Okay. Since we're under attack at this point, let's talk about defenses, shall we? So, Perfidious Albion, let's design defenses. No, don't build a building. I want to design a building. Let's design a building. Okay, so defenses can be cheaper than airships because they don't have to move. So what you could do with, and they don't need coal. So you could pretty much just put an ammo store. We're going to put an ammo store on the bottom. We're going to put a bridge right above the ammo store so that we can command the damn thing. And then we're going to put a quarters. Let's put a crow's nest on the top. It needs a ladder beneath it, so we can put the crow's nest up there. We can put a berth right below it to kill two birds with one stone. If we can find a freaking berth. Command and crew. Why there it is. Bunk. Put a bunk beneath it. This bridge is gonna need help. Okay. Move the bridge out of the way, actually. Put the bridge on the back. And we're gonna arm this thing with rifles. Primarily. So we're gonna have rifles there, we're gonna have a rifle there. We're gonna have a rifle there and a rifle there. Actually, we can move that rifle down. We do also want some heavier hitting guns. I just don't have any great heavier hitting guns where I could put an Imperial cannon on it. No, we're not going to put an Imperial cannon on it. We might put a grape shot cannon. Because, okay, so grape shot cannons do a lot lower piercing damage than cannons. But they fire a whole bunch of shots. What I want from this, basically, is I want a cheap, easily replicatable thing that can also take on heavy armor. So, okay, take that off. Put 2 cannons on top. I just feel like cannons are not actually good for defensive structures because they have such a narrow arc of fire. Like, grape shot cannons have a somewhat wider arc of fire, and even so, I'm skeptical. Because I'm like, well, I feel like they might just not be able to shoot. Another rifle on there. Okay, so we've got 3 rifles on the front, 2 rifles on the back. Let's make it 3 rifles on the back as well. And let's put a guard. No, let's not put any guards in here. I want to keep it cheap. It's already over 200. We'll put a corridor with a ladder right there, and then that will also enable us to put a crow's nest on top. We need more crew, because all we have right now is a single bunk. And we also could use some fire prevention. So let's move these rifles out quite a ways. We're going to put a barracks in there. And then we're going to put, that gives us 15 out of 16 crew. Put that right there. We're going to put a fire point, right? Why can't I put a fire point there? Why can't I put a fire point there? Like, what is preventing this fire point from being placed? Oh, the gun, the rifle. Okay, move that rifle. Gonna put a fire point there. Put another bunk there. And then the rifle will go there and there. The rifle won't go there because it needs a ladder. Okay, so remove that. This rifle can move out. I'd like to have just a little bit of extra crew, so put another bunk in that. And give it steel armor. Okay, it's weirdly lopsided. Move the whole thing to where I can see it without there being like a tree in the way. It's weirdly lopsided, but I think this might function. So we've got the grape shot cannons up top. They can punch through steel armor. Okay. They do 6 damage per shot to steel armor. That'll take a while to punch through, but it's something. We could actually use reinforced wooden armor, which has more HP, albeit less absorption from blast. Makes it a little bit cheaper. Or we can just use stone. Stone has almost no absorption, but tons of HP. Let's do massive stone wall. Yeah, that'll be fine. My OCD is making me really want this to be symmetrical. Like, really want this to be symmetrical. Which would mean having a gun there, and then just another 4-part module there. Is there something that's really valuable that I could put there? A machine shop? Machine shop's too big. A repair bay? No. A small ammo bay? I don't think we need that much more ammo. What if we put a small ammo store there, and then a... Oh, I don't have any supply. I definitely need some supply. I need 8 supply. I don't need that. I need a cargo. I need a supply hatch. So we could put a supply hatch, like, there. And we could put a small ammo store there. And then we could put another rifle on. Okay, that's something. So we've got 2 rifles and a grape shot cannon on the left side, 3 rifles and a grape shot cannon on the right side. I think this will work okay. So we can name, and we can name this the, so this is, the watchful redoubt is fine. If anyone has would like to be named a building or a ship or anything like that, by all means let me know. I will happily name things after people. So this costs 415, which is a little bit more than I was originally anticipating, but honestly that still doesn't feel too bad. And I will redesign and update it and give it new weapons and all that as we go along. 322 for standard stone walls, but massive stone walls are 50% more HP plus a little more absorption, so we're going to go with massive. Okay, so we're going to save that design. The silent... no. What was it called? Wait, we need to... what did I just do? So we're going to save this as... Wait, what's the name of it? Watchful Redoubt? Okay, well, let's save it as the Watchful Redoubt. There we go. Sorry, I'm still ill. I can't brain. Can't brain right now. So, let's leave. Let's leave. Now, we've got $650 right now. I would like to actually build some defenses. What defenses do you have? You have this little guy. What armor does he have? Steel armor? Okay, that's fine. That will work for now. What defenses do you have? That will not work. Refit this as a watchful redoubt and move it to, like, oh, you can actually paint the terrain. Move it to there. Okay, refit. That's going to take a little bit of time in Pessara, so I'm going to want the immoderate to move to Pessara in order to defend it while that's going on. And we should also, that'll be fine. That one will work for now. Okay, let's turn time on again. Because Dingleton has some defenses, if I recall correctly. Yeah, they've got 2, so they'll be okay. And let's actually... Did they just move to Perfidious Albion and disappear? Also, research. Am I not doing any research right now? Apparently I'm not doing any research right now. I got land ships. We want deck guns and Gatling guns. I think those will be very useful. Also, I can design land ships, which would be pretty cool. But we're up to 918 bucks, so I want to build one of my my little airships and see how well they'll function in a short time here. Let's invade Tiz, meanwhile. See if we can take it. So, here we've got our little buddy, our friend, our airship, against, looks like nothing. Sure looks like nothing to me. Yep, okay, great. So we've captured Tiz. So Tiz, defenses. We're going to need to... We can repair that, I guess? What is that? What's it got? Cancel. I don't... Yes, I don't like that. We're going to refit that as a watchful redoubt. And move... No, not you. Move it to, like, right there. Okay, refit, and that we can just scrap. Yeah, scrap that. Okay. So Pessara's built, watchful redoubt in Tiz is being fitted. You are attacking Gomdat. See how that goes. They have got a little steel armor, cannon. I'm not sure what those are, possibly rockets. They're probably going to win this against our relatively meager defenses. Let's go on aimed mode. I feel like aimed fire is just generally better. Like, you have better chances of doing damage. Okay, they're firing. Oh no, those are Gatling cannons. Woof. They are doing damage, and we can't shoot back at them. Okay. Okay. Great. Wunderbar. I'm not going to flee because I want them to destroy this since they're going to win. I don't want them to get it. Okay, so the Keep of Crows has been defeated. Pause. I don't think my one ship can stop them. I really don't think my one ship can stop that, that ship. Well, it might be able to. After all, I do have steel armor. Let's invade. Let's see. Before they get to build any defenses. So they, it looks like, have a higher ceiling than we do. That's going to be problematic. But we can flip in order to... So start. We're going to pause real quick. We're going to set ourselves to aimed fire. Yeah, we can move and flip, which the our defenses could not. So we're going to move up here and flip to minimize the amount of time that they will be out of the firing arc of our cannons. Okay, they're getting to shoot at our rear, which isn't ideal, but we can do it. So outside view. Yeah, they're not cutting through our armor yet. Okay, great. Yes! That firepower, though. Okay, move up there and flip again. Yep, they're on fire in the rear again. Oh, every time we flip, we get a volley. A really, really good volley. Oh, there they go. I'm actually pretty happy with this design, to be honest. It's got a lot of forward-facing firepower, and it has the mobility to put it to use. Let's, you know, it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. So let's move past them and see how they're doing. We took a little bit of a pounding on our armor, but we did fine overall. So we have recaptured Gomdat, and we now have enough money to build a flying box. So let's do that. Okay, build a flying box. In Gomdat, Gomdat is going to have to wait a little while for us to have enough money for its defenses. We only have a small shipyard at Perfidious Albion, which seems like wrong. And we're being attacked in Blackspire. What have they got? They have got 3 steel-armored, high-altitude, probably bombers. Like, I would imagine they're going to try and bomb us. And I would also imagine they're going to succeed. Aimed fire. Yep, they're bombing us. Definitely. That's exactly what they're doing. And we can't really shoot them effectively. Okay. Yep. So, high-altitude bombers in this game are a hugely dangerous type of unit because, well, they're very high altitude and it's hard to stop them. So what we need to do is we need to design a counter bomber. And I think that is going to have to happen next episode because it's been about a half an hour, which I feel like is about the limit of all this stuff. So I'm going to play around with ship design in between episodes a little bit, and I'll talk about what it is that I've figured out and what we can try in order to counter that particular tactic, because I don't have very good high altitude guns at the moment. Yeah, medium will be fine. And so in order to counteract bombers, basically, I have to be up there with the bombers. I have to be at that high altitude. So, in any case, thank you so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series. If you like it, like the video, let YouTube know, and I will see you all in the next episode. Take care.